Oh. Please, welcome to the June 18th, 2024 Planning Commission hearing. Would you please rise for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll bring up the cell phones.
I just turned mine off.
Okay, silence during the meeting.
And I don't think there's anyone on Zoom.
No media.
Yeah, there's
We have no media. And do we have any Zoom?
No.
We don't have any Zoom. Of course, speak into the microphone, you know that. Well, let's go talk to. Let's look at the regular meeting minutes from last time. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from the last meeting. Second. 16.
Commissioner Roxette?
Aye.
Commissioner Sarnoski?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner Davidson?
I'll abstain, I wasn't here.
And Chair Banducci?
Yes. Okay. Okay. On to the what?
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin. Update and discussion, city council.
So I'm not sure if many of you keep up on city council. Or recall a couple of years ago, some of you were on the commission, some of you were not. Previously in November, in 2022, it went to the voters to do a 2-year prohibition on psilocybin. The voters elected to do that prohibition. That temporary prohibition ends December 31st of this year. So what's going on right now? He went back to city council for city council to direct staff how they wish to proceed, city council wanted to proceed with putting it back to the voters for the voters to make that call, yes or no. In this packet or in this memorandum, it talks about, so at the June council, they went over a draft ordinance, which I have provided in here. This is kind of the language you will only see, because being inside the city limits, you guys will have this on your voters' ballots in November. And it is asking, declaring a ban on psilocybin. Which would then be a permanent ban in the municipal code if it passes. So, but in the meantime, with that, we have to do, like we did before, we have to prepare to get those legislative amendments complete. So if in November this fails and people choose to have psilocybin centers and manufacturers inside the city limits, we have to have those time, place, and manner restrictions put into our development code. So I think you were on the planning commission, right, when we did it in 22, no?
I
I don't think you.
can't tell you for sure, I
Okay.
never discussed it before, but
So what we just wanted to talk about, since we didn't have a meeting last month, we didn't want to cancel another month. We will go over the time, place, and manner. We kind of went over, previously had maps for you. It's similar to 2015 when marijuana went to the voters. We kind of use the same time, place, and manner restrictions, 500 feet away from schools,
That's what I
500 feet from residentially zoned
Yeah.
properties. Really, when it boils down, there would be a very, very select few locations that can actually qualify. But in preparation, not knowing how the election will go, we have to start this process because, as you know, legislative amendment does take probably a good 4 months, because of notice requirements, planning commission meetings. So it will be a topic.
it's different than I thought it would be, just from reading about it. I mean, it can cost like $2,000
People get a treatment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
And I
not
haven't-
like somebody can go off the street and just do it. It's expensive from that.
And I think if it's done right, I mean, they have to be a licensed facility, but I mean, I'm sure like anything, people try to open them without doing the proper licensing. It's probably pretty strenuous, process. And so what we'll bring back to you guys probably in August will be some draft language. Similar that we did 2 years ago. If you have any new thoughts, ideas, questions, we could discuss them or send them an email. I think all the kind of regulations that we did before were off of like your guys' suggestions, city council's suggestions.
I think what we came up with before was pretty, straightforward as
Yeah.
to what you could and couldn't do, or where you could.
Right.
and couldn't do.
Yeah, and we worked with our city attorney at that
Yeah.
time, and I mean, those would be still things that would take place. So I just wanted to give you this, because I'm not sure, how many of you do follow city council, and obviously you will be seeing this on your ballot. And you guys will be the decision making for the legislative amendments, that recommendation to city council.
Very good.
You gonna have any questions about it?
No.
And I guess similar, I know right now, rumors floating around, that Sutherlin's allowing,
Dispensary.
yes, dispensaries.
Heard
We've tried to shoot these rumors down to the people who actually call us, but,
Nobody wants to listen.
right. But the voters, again, city council wanted that to go to the voters get to make that decision. I think it was 2015, 2014,
It was a long time ago.
2014, it went to the voters and the voters voted down that permanent ban. So to bring dispensaries back, somebody would have to do that petition to get it on the ballot, which requires like a third of the registered voters in the city limits to sign a petition. You have your filing requirements, then it has to go back to the voters. Nothing has changed in our municipal code. It is prohibited, so if you see or hear any of those, it is pretty black and white in the municipal code.
I can see it.
But we have businesses pop up weekly that we are not aware of.
Probably true.
But it's just like building.
Yeah.
Some people build stuff, or
It's a fact.
find out later, then they're like, well, I didn't know. Well, did you call that? Said you,
Yeah, that happens.
yeah.
At least we don't have people tunneling.
Yeah.
See that guy in Roseburg dug himself a, what was it, 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot hole in the ground under a bridge and was starting a tunnel on the back wall.
Well, we do have a gentleman in town that talks that way. That would frequent city hall.
Really?
So don't laugh, like.
Hey, I'm all about tunnels. Can I build a tunnel between my house and my shop?
You talk at home,
Yeah,
the integrity of that
I don't know. I
hillside.
don't think I could dig a tunnel from this shop to home. That'd be cool if I could. I'm really practical.
No, be a long one.
Yeah,
So that's where we stand with psilocybin. The ordinance is going back to council because they do the first reading. This was in June, second reading will be July, which there was no opposition
now is it the council that comes up with the,
language
yeah, like the restrictions and all that, or is that you guys?
for
staff?
the code.
We did.
We did, like between staff, the city attorney, what other jurisdictions were doing, we kind of came to you guys
Yeah, I kinda
and
remember
council
that.
and said, email us what
Are
your
we still
thoughts
gonna
are.
use the same?
We'll probably use the same. If you guys have anything extra, we'll discuss it.
I think the only thing that would be a difference would be what's the big facility where they actually grow?
Like the manufacturing.
Yeah, the manufacturing.
Yeah, and where we had in certain industrial zones, the manufacturing was a conditionally permitted use, so those applications would come to you guys.
Yeah.
And we work with the city attorney on making sure we're catching everything and got all the new rules.
I'm sure they're still probably coming up with. At least the state.
Yeah.
Have they figured out guidelines for it yet, or are they still working on it?
Well, they did because I mean, it's been in the state process since what, January 1st of 2023. People, and I think Riddle was the only Douglas County jurisdiction that voted
To have one,
to have one, and I don't know if they,
ever put one?
yeah.
Has anybody put one in the state of Oregon yet?
Yeah. They,
Is Myrtle Creek that one?
no,
They don't.
not, I think Riddle was the only one. in
Riddle was
Douglas
the
County.
only one.
I haven't heard of any popping
I
up.
went online and searched, I couldn't find
Handful.
probably less than half a dozen places.
Because I know before it was permitted, there was a place in downtown Portland that was all over the news. And that's
Yeah.
how the state got wind of it. Is they were operating illegally and they had lines like out the door for people.
Hmm.
They're going down the street and, oh boy.
I was just curious if there's anybody that put one in yet, that we could kind of do some research and see,
Yeah, and I'll search.
like, what kind of.
I'm sure the state will have a
problems they
list.
have with them. Somebody's got to know.
Yeah, and they would have to be licensed through the state, so there should be a list. I would assume maybe on their website.
But this is just something that's coming down the road though, right?
Right, so this is a formality because the legislative process,
Do you need us to make a motion or something?
not tonight, tonight
Okay.
was just discussion. When we bring the code amendments back to you, which will be later this fall, then that's when you make that recommendation.
So until that time, it's study,
Studying to do that.
Yeah.
figure it out and research sample.
Sample.
No judging.
Victoria, then try to be good.
I know.
Thank you, Jamie.
No problem.
Monthly activity report, has everybody anybody reviewed or imposed monthly activity report? Or questions accordingly?
How are we doing on correspondence? Is that getting completed? Are we gonna be up to date? What's happening there?
Yes, so we're, construction should be complete by the end of July. They just got finished paving around the other side of the path and they're working on the boardwalk, that 400 feet of boardwalk that goes over the wetlands through the mitigation area. And then, I believe the playground is done. They're working on the landscaping. They've got the play surfacing in. So we're on schedule to be complete by the end of July.
Before the turtle was in endangered species.
Yes. Yes.
What turtle? I'm just kidding.
I thought there were two turtles.
There is, there are.
Yeah.
One's native and one is not.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
On the Wade Street improvements, all the big money that's gonna go into that, it's all been approved. Correct? On that road and the bridge. That's
So
been,
so the Waite Street improvements, what the engineering was hired to do is to get that completed because our Safe Routes to School grant application the last few years has not been very strong because this was the missing piece. So the city wanted to make their application stronger this year, so did the engineering and then applied for it, right? Or no, you
Not
submitted
yet,
it next month.
yes.
so then it hasn't been granted to do it yet.
Right, the grant
Okay.
application's due next month.
Okay, and the prices will keep going up as the longer we wait to,
But it's in the,
Yes.
it's a grant, so we're applying for it, so we're on their timeline.
Does that include like a crosswalk there for the trail?
Yeah, there's a
Yes.
crosswalk on one side.
I knew it was in there at one point in time, I was not sure if it was still there.
Crosswalk and the footbridge.
Yeah.
and the rapid flashing beacon.
Yeah. that was- I didn't know they were gonna footbridge, where's the footbridge?
It's on the,
West side, right?
yes, on the west side,
Cause instead of making the bridge wider.
yeah, because there's not enough room for bicycles and pedestrians, so they're making a footbridge that goes over.
Okay.
Thank you. When you offer these diaper materials to do roads, what roads, are they specifically pointed out what roads are gonna be working on? Because there's some that need potholes.
There's a lot of them that have potholes. So this is the downtown parking lot and the for a water treatment plant
Oh,
paving,
okay.
so those parking lot improvements. With the parking lot improvement behind backside, they'll do the sidewalk continuing from North State around First, right there.
Great. Anything else, gentlemen?
I was just curious too, I was at the council meeting when they said they're gonna put a stoplight in,
Dakota,
Dakota. What, do you guys know any of the progress on that?
it's slower than the turtle. I don't think at this time there's been any progress with it.
That's state.
Yeah, I thought the state said they wouldn't.
Yeah,
They won't, that's what traffic goes up.
Yeah, but I thought the city
This-
council said we're gonna.
ODOT did approve for a signal there.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And
But
we
they-
also, go ahead.
They are not supplying any funding, so for it to receive any federal funding. It would have to be a stronger candidate, like you'd have to have depths out there. But when you put it on, like, try to get on the federal stick, then you're going against. The whole nation for federal funding, and with it not being, the traffic counts, the accident counts, sadly, that's. a
So
big
either
thing.
the city pays for it or.
Right, so what we've been doing with any development in that area, those transportation development charges. Are going towards that area is in the urban and rural district too, so that would be another pot of money that city. Plus we keep the costs down.
I know that hearing thing with Tom did at that meeting that we were at. The jury indicated that there was money for it,
Yes,
and so that's probably sitting in a kitty someplace. Okay, and
right,
he talked about this summer, which
well, but
I
there's a
don't know
lot.
if it's this summer or next summer.
It's, you have to go out to bid for, your engineering and then, there's a lot of moving parts. Things
Good, good,
don't,
good question, good point.
sadly don't move very fast.
Just curious.
Good point. Anything else, gentlemen?
I've asked enough questions.
Yeah.
That's more than I normally ask.
You did great. Being close. Thank you very much.